Shalom, Akim. First and foremost, I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh, Ba'asham, Yahushai, Ba'asham, Rekah, Kodash. I'd like to give double honors to the apostles and elders and great meals known. I'd like to say Shalom to the elect that teach His word in all truth, faith, and sincerity. And yeah, today, I just want to tie this lesson. Esau's blessing is a curse. Which this man's blessing was the sword. He was blessed to live by the sword. Matter of fact, let's get this in the book of Revelation, the 6th chapter. Because then this man and his military is not like no other, man. You can't compare this man and his military to any other nation, any other kingdom throughout history, man. This man was able to, take flight, by the way of his fighter jets, these different helicopters, he got drones and, this is, technology shall increase, man. But that one of the characteristics that Daniel pointed out of that fourth beast was his iron teeth, man. So this man, his military was going to be far above all the other nations, man. And this is how he came into power. So let's get that. This is on Revelation 6 and 4. And there went another horse that was red, see? So it was time for Esau to rule. See, Isaac, which that was our Lord Yahushua, that blessing was played out, man. From when Alexander came into power, that was, he came up quickly, man, by the way of the sword. This is how this man always was triumph, by the way of his military. So it was a time for Esau to rule. It said, and power was given to him that sat thereon to take peace from the earth. See? So it was going to, and it's Yahweh Shem Yahushai that's the one that's gave him the power. Because there was going to be a point made, it tells you it's a time and season for everything. Matter of fact, let's get that. This is Ecclesiastes 3, because it said to take peace from earth. So what's the opposite of peace? War. And what are the different tools of war? When you think of a war, what do you think of? Military weapons, a sword, or the modern day the gun, a tank, but that's a sword. That's how modern wars were fought back then, man. So it was gonna be a time where Esau was gonna rule. It says to everything there is a season and a time to every purpose under the heaven. See, so everything that happens on the planet Earth, these different kingdoms that play out, that was the Lord making a point. Certain things happen in these different kingdoms. That's why when you dealing with historical events, you gotta go through. You gotta look up pretty much who was ruling in that time, what empire that happened in. So it was points made throughout these different kingdoms. So let's jump down to verse 8. It says a time to love and a time to hate. See? It says a time of war and a time of peace. See, so you see the polar opposites. There's a time of love and a time of hate. Well, the time of hate is being played out now. The time of love is going to be played out in the kingdom, man. And it says a time of war. And that's the time we in now, the time of war. Why? Because the man of war, not the man of war is Yahweh Hashem Yahushua. Which the sword is in his left hand. Matter of fact, because Esau is the left hand of the Most High. Let's get that. I think Psalm 17, so like it. Because we know Esau is the left hand. Let's see, Psalm 17 and Psalm 17 and 13. It says, arise, O Lord, disappoint him, cast him down, deliver my soul from the wicked, which is thy sword. See, so that lets you know it's a nation of people, it's a group of people, a nation of people. This is pretty much the embodiment of a sword played out on the planet Earth. which is the so-called white man, which that's his blessing, man. But that's ultimately going to be his curse. So because really when Isaac gave Esau that blessing, he really put a curse on him. You know, it says from men which are thy hands. So who is the left hand? You know, which is the adverse. You know, is Satan. Esau Edom, the adversary, because he's contrary to Yahweh Shem Shai, which the sword of the left hand, you know, it's just ultimately just destruction, man. Because that's what this man represents. That's what he embodies. Everywhere he goes is destruction. Father, that's why I said that beast, man, he'll make a desolation of your house and his, man. You know, it says, from men which are thy hand, O Lord, from men of the world which have their portion in this life. See, because they got a certain lot. It said, whose belly thou fillest with thy hid treasure, they are full of children, and the rest of their sustenance to their babes. See, so they got a certain portion, which ultimately is going to be their blessing. They're going to actually fall upon their own sword. You know, because you know you're gonna, whatever you put in, that's what you're gonna get out. Matter of fact, let's get that real quick, because that's how he rationalized things out. It was about the sword. You know, this is St. Matthew 26. And St. Matthew 26 and 52. It says, then said Yahweh unto him, put up again thy sword into his place. For all they that take the sword shall perish with the sword. See? So when it says all they that take the sword, meaning what? The only way you can rationalize things out is by the sword, is by killing you, is by bombing you to hell and back. You know, it's by the way of sending so-called peacekeepers, because everything is a military weapon with Esau. Everything, your technology that you got now, your everyday technology that you really deal with is old military tech. You know, by the way, these phones, these cars, you know, GPS, that's old military gear, man. So this is how this man is the sword on all levels, man. But it said ultimately they're going to perish by the sword, meaning that's going to be to their detriment. You know? Matter of fact, Revelation 13:10, it says, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. See? So, meaning what? What you put in, that's what you're going to get out. This devil led us in captivity, guess what? He's going to go into captivity, but it's going to be double. See, his reward is double. It's not like just the sword is just going to subdue him and that's it. No, this whole land going to be wiped away. The weapons, all the weapons going to be gone. They're going to be burnt out, you know. There's going to be no form of Esau left. It ain't going to be like, yeah, that's an M16. No. All that's going to be burned, man. You know. It says, he that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. See? Eye for eye, tooth for a tooth, man. You know, but ultimately, the way you was living is going to be the same way you was taken out. You know? And that's justice right there. The reason why the Fabulous 50s happened was because that nigga bond them goose, man. You know? Say, what else could brought that forth, that baby boomer age and everything? It's because he dropped the bombs on them goose, man. So guess what? That's got to happen to them now, so everybody else can be happy. Matter of fact, like I said, that very blessing that he had, that he was blessed with, was actually a curse. This is Psalms 37, and you know what? This Psalm 37, and I started at 2. It said, "The wicked plotteth against the just." See, and gnasheth upon him with his teeth. And going back to the Roman Empire, you know, that was one of the things that stood out was that military, that dealing with the ninth infantry. They had a bad military, so to speak, man. That's why I said they had the great iron teeth. You know. So this man is plotting against the just. We ain't got no power. We ain't got no sin in you in, but you coming so hard it up. That lets you know. Matter of fact, Tion said, the Lord shall laugh at him. See, why? Because you're going to be on the top 10 list of evil geniuses that died by their own creations. You know, you created a missile, which is going to be the very thing that's going to take you out. See, that blessing was a snare unto you, man. You know, because all the way down to a Fago, a double cheeseburger from McDonald's, all that that come under the banner of the sword. That's biological warfare, man. Giving you GMO foods, giving you plastic bottled water. You know. So this man, he's been, throwing swords at you the whole time, throwing, shooting arrows at you the whole time. But now it's going to be made more manifest by the way of tanks in the streets. You know, them knocking on your door saying, "Have you, where's your vaccine card?" You know. It says, "The Lord shall laugh at him, for he seeth that his day is coming." See, why? Because the Lord laughed because Esau finna trip up. This man is finna trip up. The time he about to make that move, that's when the standard gonna be lifted. Though I say the Lord gonna laugh at him, man. Because ultimately, matter of fact, to get the continue on, said the wicked have drawn out the sword. See, because they write it up first, so they can justify in doing it. So they draw it up, then they draw, and then they draw forth. It says that they draw it up and then they draw it out, because that's how you do it. You gotta lift up the sword first, then you can swing it. You know, you gotta get it out the sheath all, pretty much good up. You gotta get it up out first, then you can swing. So that's why they draw it up first, then they draw it out. It says, and have bent their bow, see, so they gotta be aiming at somebody to cast down the poor and needy. See, they cast down the poor and needy. See, the ones that ain't no standing military power. You finna send a tank to, you know what I mean, these different projects, man. To do Jake, and you probably got Jake with a few choppers, but you got Esau. He coming down with Great Ralph, man. But he's coming down to get really the prophets. That's who he's really want to get. It says, and to slay such as be of upright conversation. See, he want to get the elect. That's who he really want to get, man. The white got the red list, the blue list, and the yellow list. It says, their sword shall enter into their own heart. See? So that blessing was a curse, man. Because the same sword you drew out, the same sword that you got up on, now you end up falling on it. It says, and their bows shall be broken. See? Meaning what? Ultimately, because ultimately Esau, in his World War III, is like them throwing arrows at each other, man. That's why I said spare no arrows. And it's a Japanese film called Arrows. And that's what you pretty much see. Esau wanted, to shoot arrows from afar. And then if one coming their way, they can shoot it out the air. But that's not going to be the case. The very thing that you thought, was going to keep you in power, keep you in the power, your idea was the missiles. But that idea was going to kill you, And it said the arrow is going to be broken, meaning what? Their defense system is going to fail. Matter of fact, let's get that in Joel 2. And see, so that blessing was ultimately going to be a curse. Let's see. Yeah, this is and this time this is a dark parable talking about the missiles, Joel the 2nd chapter. So Joel 2 and 8, it said, neither shall one thrust another. See, because why? It's going to be so many missiles in the sky in that day, man. America's this whole land is gonna be totally desolate, man. That's why the scripture says, "Spare no arrows." And this is one of the reason why that's going to be the reason why it's going to be called the lake of fire, man. Because this whole land gonna be pelted with missiles, man. You know, but it says they're not going to thrust one another. It said they shall walk every one in his path. Meaning, what each missile going to have, their head is going to have a specific target, man. Because each one that's made, even with the different heads, it's a certain city or spot they gonna hit. Ain't like they make up the concordance on the fly. No, when they built them, that's why they built so many of them, because it's set up to hit every spot. They say, well, shoot this one off, this one go on that one, or shoot the one that's in this place or that place. It says, and when they fall upon the sword, see, the defense systems, which is shoddy at best, it said they shall not be wounded. See, so those arrows gonna be broken, man. Because the arrow is really a form of defense. It's really to, kind of knock out that first wave. You get some from afar. You still have some in battle, but it was far off. It was more of a defensive strategy when you shoot arrows. But that's going to be to his detriment. It says, and when they fall upon the sword, they shall not be wounded. See? Meaning what? Even though it might be dramatic, well, you see an explosion in the sky. But out of the midst of the smoke, they coming faster now. So that's ultimately going to be his detriment, man. That's going to be to his downfall. So matter of fact, let me go back to that Psalm 37. Psalm 37. And it said, their sword shall enter into their own heart, and their bows shall be broken. See, their bows going to be broken, man. So let's end it up on this, like in this Joel 18, because ultimately this is a snare. When he asked for that, bitterly crying for that, knowing that, he didn't live up to his word. He act like that. He already supposed to get the blessing anyways. He must forget about the pottage. He must forget about the pottage. He must forgot that he sold that to me. But that's how he played it, man. And he bitterly cried for that blessing, but he ultimately cried for a curse, and that's what he had received, because he is a curse. That's his portion, was to be the curse. So this is Joel 18, and I start at 7. It said, the steps of his strength shall be straightened. See? Meaning what? We're in a point where he's pretty much in a difficult position of difficulty, man. The way he want to go, it's like Esau now in a maze now. When he trying to go this way, it's blocked off, so he ain't got no choice but to go the other way now. See, each day is a step closer to that perfect day, man. Which is to turn our Lord Yahweh try to climax of existence, man. That's that each day it get closer to that day. And each move Esau's make is gonna actually, is leading up to that pretty much. It said his own counsel shall cast him down. See, so his thoughts, his plans actually lead him to death. It says, for he is cast into his own feet. So for he is cast into a net by his own feet. See? So this very trap, like I said, he's a hunter, and he the one that walked on a damn bear trap. He the one that walked on the bear trap. That's what's gonna happen to him. It says, and he walketh upon a snare. See, meaning what? Those silos, man. Because when you think of missiles, the thermonuclear missiles, the first thing you think about them shooting at the ground. That's what you see in all these movies, they're being shot at the ground. Which is other forms. You got certain missiles that shoot from submarines and ships and different land vehicles. Then you also got that's the classic silos, man. You know, you got the classic hollows, man. So you know, that's his snare. That was his blessing, but that was also to his destruction. So yeah, I just want to edify. I want to give all praise and glory to Yahweh, Ba'ashem Yahushua, Ba'ashem Rakakodash. I'd like to give double honor